Ladies and gentlemen, the defense today for Michael Sussman in the Durham probe special counsel trial is trying to get a mistrial. We don't know why, or I don't know why. It makes no sense. They tried to first throw the case out of court. The judge said no. Then they lost more than they won in terms of evidence evidence the jury was allowed to see. Then you have this article, Durham-Sussmann trial, judge not inclined to declare a mistrial despite attempt from defense. Michael Sussman pleaded not guilty to making a false statement to the FBI. He categorically made a false statement to the FBI. He categorically made a false statement to the Bureau. No doubt about it. He texted the top legal counsel at the Bureau that he was coming alone. Then you have billing records where the Clinton campaign paid him. And so he did this to hide the fact that he was being sent by Trump's direct political rival. The reasoning was he didn't want to tell the top legal counsel, Comey's legal counsel at the Bureau, Comey's top attorney, James Comey's top legal advisor, he didn't want to say on record that he was coming on behalf of the Clinton campaign and Democratic Party. He was being billed by them, or he was billing them, getting paid by them, and giving derogatory, deceitful, fabricated, absurd allegations to a government agency so taxpayer dollars could be used against Trump. He didn't want to be on record as saying that. So you have Mark Elias, who was a colleague of his, testifying against Sussman, and he's asked, the Durham probe prosecutor asked Elias, did Sussman go to the Bureau with data alleging a covert communication channel between Trump and Alpha Bank on behalf of the Clinton campaign? And then Elias said, I think you'd have to ask Mr. Sussman. Well, then the judge said, quote, you should be prepared to deal with the witnesses. I am not inclined to grant a mistrial. Later, the prosecution brought Sussman's response up, a move the defense said violates Sussman's rights. How on earth does that violate Sussman's rights? Hit subscribe to this channel right now. We're at the forefront. This channel's at the forefront of talking about a whole lot of topics, including the Durham Probe Special Counsel, especially the Durham Probe Special Counsel. I wrote about this in the Federalist numerous times. And hit subscribe to this channel. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. I have a segment right before this one up. Very important segment on the Stock Market Crash channel. Go to the pinned comment and watch everything that I have been saying, ladies and gentlemen, since October of last year. The first Stock Market Crash channel segment was in September of 2021. I was predicting what's taking place in September of 2021. Then I wrote, and it was published in the Federalist, that everything's going to tank in October of 2021. Then I started talking about Bitcoin and crypto crash, which is taking place on an epic, massive, biblical scale. Unfortunately, I don't want that to happen. But I started a crypto or Bitcoin crash channel. So go to the Bitcoin crash channel below in the pinned comment. I have a segment right before this one also. I will do at least 3 segments every day on each channel. Become a member of the channel. Please, it's a wonderful community. We have a great time during the live streams. If you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. If you want to give a super thanks to this segment, that's right next to the like and the share buttons. But word of mouth is the best thing you could do. Go ahead and share the Bitcoin Crash channel, the Stock Market Crash channel, and this channel everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're almost at 200,000 subs. Ladies and gentlemen, so after hours of Elias' testimony, the government called former Bureau General Counsel James Baker to take the stand. Baker was questioned for about 45 minutes. Okay, Baker's expected to be questioned by the government for the better part of the morning on Thursday. as well as cross-examination from defense. The defense, there can't be a mistrial because there isn't. It is a pretty clear cut. I mean, there's a possibility of a mistrial. There's a possibility of a hung jury with the jurors. Yes, I get it. And even if that happens, ladies and gentlemen, look, there's a wide-ranging plot of a whole bunch of people conspiring against an incoming Republican candidate. It was an outgoing Democratic administration utilizing intelligence chiefs, political operatives, media against Trump, the incoming Republican president. This is obvious. This is not obvious to the judge, the jury, or I should say the judge and the jury aren't looking at that as in the manner that you and I are. The media, half the country, the Democratic Party, Hollywood, what's left of Twitter before, or the remnants of the politically biased Twitter nightmarish digital cyber dystopia that hopefully Elon Musk will address. They can't, none of these people who believe that Trump was installed by the Kremlin, who then complain that Trump doesn't accept results, none of these people will ever acknowledge, ever in a million years, that Comey or Strzok or McCabe or Clapper or Brennan or the media or intelligence agents were, or political operatives were biased against Trump. They'll never admit that they worked either in unison or in conjunction with each other for a common goal, which was to get government agencies to investigate Donald Trump. Even Mark Elias, which is hilarious, CNN runs a story. Elias turns the table on the Durham probe. It's like, no, he was literally testifying against Michael Sussman. He was testifying against Michael Sussman. Brought up the billing records. Okay? This Michael Sussman's defense, however, in addition to, well, you have Sussman who billed the Clinton campaign. You have Sussman who texted that he was going on behalf of himself and nobody else, not on behalf of a client. You have Baker who's saying he didn't know why he was meeting this attorney, or he thought the attorney was coming on his own, not on behalf of Trump's rival. It's a clear-cut case. He lied to the Bureau. Okay. Again, when Democrats go after people for lying to Peter Strzok, like Michael Flynn was set up and framed. He was the national security advisor. He did not have anything to do with the Kremlin. Zero. Nothing. Literally nothing. Nobody was ever indicted for working alongside a foreign intelligence official in 2016. Not one human being, nobody. Julian Assange should be free. He was never charged with that. Nobody was. Not one person. Yet they obsessed over this. They absolutely obsessed over this. And they focused every waking moment on trying to link Trump to a possible grandiose plot to have him installed. But see, again, if Sussman's defense gets the mistrial or gets a hung jury, a mistrial would be very annoying, but I don't think how that's even possible. If he gets a hung jury, that's because the Sussman defense team did a good enough job of explaining to the jurors and the judge that the Bureau knew that they were utilizing information from the Clinton campaign. They had no problem with Sussman being a Democratic operative or an attorney funneling lies and deceitful allegations or nonsensical, completely irrational allegations against Trump into the U.S. government to get government officials at the Bureau like Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper, Comey and Strzok and McCabe and others to investigate an incoming candidate. That's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If and my God, if you've lasted this long, this seems like a million years, this segment. if if Sussman is successful in a hung jury, he's not going to get acquitted. But if there's a hung jury, for example, it'll be because the defense actually was telling the truth. James Baker knew that Sussman was working for the Clinton campaign. The bureau officials were all in on it. But again, they need to give the appearance that they didn't know that they were apolitical, unbiased. The judge and the jury, government officials right now, in that world, within that courtroom, there was nobody conspiring against Trump. They were just focused on that one lie, and I don't see how the defense team could get out of it. Certainly not with a mistrial. There's nothing that the Durham probe did that was improper. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel. Hit subscribe to the Big Bitcoin Crash channel below in the pinned comment. Ladies and gentlemen, big day today. We'll have another segment in a couple of hours. Check this channel, the Stock Market Crash channel, and the Bitcoin Crash channel. Every 2 hours or so, I'll have new segments, new content on each of those channels every single day. I'll do at least 9 or 12 videos every day with those 3 channels combined. The 3 channels, obviously, including this one. Let's get to 200,000 subs, people. Thank you so much.